All right, let's take a minute and talk about this comment because this is a common thing that happens with new inspectors. Okay, um, when you go out and you apply for a position, but not really knowing exactly what type of position you're actually applying for. Um, so this is not to point you out or anything, but it's just to educate everyone else who, you know, who wants to go this route and do it on their own. Because if you want to do it on your own, that's cool. I encourage you to, but please make sure that you know exactly what you're doing when you're applying to these companies. Now, to answer your question, it's very, very common that when you apply to these companies, they're expecting you to already have experience, to already know what to do. Most of these companies will not supply you any type of field training, right? That's the reason why I have been creating training for being out in the field. The most training that many companies will provide you is the training on how to work their system, how to upload your reports. That is about it. All right. So that is very, very common when you get hired on with many of these companies. Not all, but many of these companies will not provide you field training. So you have to know exactly what you're stepping into before you actually step into it. All right. Um, so I understand that you've been declining them, and that's cool. They're going to continue sending you stuff. So they're not like some of the other companies where once you decline so many, they just stop sending you work. Um, so to answer your question, so that you can feel a little more confident to accept a job, right? Because they will provide you some instructions on your work order, right? So you do, when you receive a job, more than likely, unless it's a no contact job, you will have to call the contact person that they're providing you the information for. They provide you the contact name and the contact's phone number, and many times the email as well. So you can try to obtain contact with that person via email or via phone to schedule an appointment to visit their location. All right. So you most of these require you to set an appointment, and it will tell you, right? Or it will provide you the name and everything of the contact person. Now, do you have to print out documents? I highly recommend that you do print out your documents. That way you can look at your document, in case to answer questions, because you have to answer questions. It's not just about going out and photographing, right? There's certain things that you have to look at, certain questions that you have to answer. So it's very important that you print out your documents, especially the interview part, um, because you have to interview the person, right? You've got to ask them certain questions. I don't have one right in front of me at this moment. This is from my insurance report. I haven't done a spectrum in a minute, but I don't have any paperwork with me right now. Otherwise, I kind of show you a few examples of what I mean. But so yes, um, print your documents. That way you can glance at your document and see that document proves to have two two uses, right? You can look at your document to see what questions you need to ask, and you can look at your document to see what questions that you can answer on your own, but it also helps you pay attention to the things that you need to focus on. They give you a list of photographs that are required for you to take, right? So if any of those things apply, then you take those photos. If they don't worry too. If it does not apply, um, don't worry about taking a photo. But you must read their instructions, go by their photo requirements, go make sure you are following their instructions, because they give you detailed instructions on how to complete the order, right? They just don't tell you how to do it out there in the field. Um, but they give you details on everything that they need or that they're looking for. So those are the pictures that you need to capture, and those are the questions that you need to answer. So, with that being said, guys, know what you're doing before you apply to these companies, um, because you can just you you may be stepping into something that's way over your head, and I don't want you to do that, because then you'll become discouraged. So I'm glad you asked the question. I'm glad you haven't accepted one yet and you wanted to get some clarity, and I'm happy to provide that clarity for you. So I hope that helped. um, I'll try to create another video, um, if I can find some paperwork, and that way I can go a little more in detail about Spectrum. All right. So I hope, I really hope that helps. All right. Let me know if you have any other questions. It's our time to be free. Let's get it.